slow the spread of COVID-19 in our state. But in tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, we look at how these preventative measures could be putting another group of people at risk.
I want to stress to everyone that we need to stay home.
It's a message you can't miss.
Stay home. Stay home.
That directive, designed to keep you safe,
you have every opportunity to protect yourself and your family by staying home and not leaving your house.
can also mean there's no escape.
Unfortunately, a lot can happen behind closed doors.
Right now, that's where everyone is spending most of their time.
I think that adds a level of danger for victims because they can't escape, and they also, their perpetrators are probably going to be more violent in those times.
Michelle Trent works with survivors of domestic violence and abuse at the Compass Center in Sioux Falls.
Part of abuse is power and control.
She says many professionals working in the field are worried what this period of isolation will mean for domestic violence.
And so that abuser is definitely going to look for ways to use this virus as another means to control someone else.
My concern now is the communication is a lot more limited, and I have noticed at least over the last week that some of the communication that I have had has been is decreased, unfortunately, a lot more.
Sioux Falls domestic violence detective Logan Ayers says the victims she works with usually have a safe time during the workday to reach out for help.
So that they can communicate with me without their abuser necessarily finding out about it or knowing about it.
So when a perpetrator goes to work, it gives victims an opportunity for safety.
Right now, many people are either working from home or out of work altogether.
So we're talking about people losing jobs, unemployment rates being high. We know that unemployment and financial stress directly contribute to violence in a home. So the expectation is we may not know until this is over what impact this has had on domestic violence.
In just 2 weeks of increased isolation, Detective Ayers says she's already seen an increase in her caseload, but she's also very concerned about the cases of abuse that will go unreported.
But the physical abuse is more difficult to hide, especially in public. The issue that we're going to run into now is we don't have that public setting anymore.
That's also true for children who no longer have direct contact with their teachers, one of the first lifelines of detecting abuse.
When a child goes to school, they have other adults that are available to them to talk about the things that are happening. When you're at home and you're in isolation and you're only required to be with your family, you don't have other adults.
Some people who may normally see changes or some concerning things might not get a chance to see that now.
But in this season of closed doors, neighbors can still make a big difference.
What we really need in times like this are people who are willing to call the police and provide as much information as possible.
Whether you see something unsettling or hear an argument coming from the apartment next door, notify police so they can at least check it out.
There were other times it was a loud television. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. But there were also many occasions where there was a physical dispute going on and they were in a very dangerous situation. And the person who called just to be safe was very thankful that they had called and reported it.
Even if you don't sense immediate danger, just letting a neighbor know your door is always open can help save a life.
I think this is a rare opportunity we have in the world to connect with people around us, and so it might be an opportunity to open doors to victims that they might not have had before.
We're going to really need to rely on each other over the next several months so that nobody's alone during this already difficult time period.
The Compass Center and the Children's Inn, a safe shelter for victims, will remain open to anyone in need of help throughout this period of isolation. If you or someone you know needs help, call police or the domestic violence hotline at 605-338-4880.